Hi, I'm Terry David Mulligan, and this is a quick update on the Mulligan Stews for this weekend. Specifically, our guest, Ariel Posen, good-looking dude, plays incredible guitar, but not flashy, none of that over-the-top stuff. You got to lean in to hear that guitar work. But it's so good that Ariel Posen has been invited by Eric Clapton to be part of the Crossroads Festival that he's holding September 23rd in Los Angeles. Ariel Posen. He has a new album coming out. The day before we're going to run his interview, we're going to do it Saturday the 9th of September. And it's just so good. It's his best work yet. And he's coming our way September 26th in Calgary, 3 days after Clapton. September 27th in Edmonton, the 28th Saskatoon, 29th in Winnipeg, and on and on and on. He has a huge following in Europe and the Nordic communities. And he's now a sort of a mid-Atlantic man, career in England and Europe and in North America. Not bad for a kid from Winnipeg, guitar player. And by the way, it's going to be a Crossroads Festival, Winnipeg style, because the brothers Landreth are joining him on stage because they were invited as well. So here's our conversation with Ariel Posen on video. The podcast is also available, and you can also see it on the Mulligan Stew show on CKUA Radio, Saturday, 5 to 7 Mountain, 4 to 6 Pacific, or on the CKUA On Demand app. Have yourself a great weekend. Ariel Posen is my guest. I'm Terry David Mulligan, and this is the Mulligan Stew podcast, and believe it or not, the Terry David Mulligan YouTube channel. Yes, we couldn't find a way around not using my name. Apparently, there's some value in it, so I'm going to repeatedly say my name over and over again. Hello there.
Yes. Hey, man, how are you?
I'm good. You look like you're you're either in a rehearsal space or you're in your house, and this is your guitar room, or it's a blue screen.
It's a blue screen. No, it's not. It's my it's my little studio space. Yes.
You're packing. Actually, now that it's the album has dropped yesterday, you're on the road in the United Kingdom or the Netherlands.
Yeah, we just finished in the United Kingdom, so time to head back to home base.
Let me see if I can get the timeline right here. 2019 was how long?
Yes.
2021 was Headway. You started writing the new album 2020 during COVID, so you had that project. Mm-hmm. And so Reasons Why comes out yesterday. It's your third album, fully and completely, lots of tracks. I haven't hit an instrumental yet, but I'm sure there's a deluxe version is going to come out. Tell me about that progression from How Long and Headlines to Headway to this new music. You progress with you're not going to sit still and play the same stuff over and over and over again. Did you surprise yourself in the steps that you took along the way?
I don't know if I surprised myself. I'm always intending to evolve. I'm always trying to grow and find the purest form of my voice as a songwriter, as a guitar player, as all the things. So I really just think out of experience. There's no better experience than experience.
Yes.
To really help carve who you are as an artist and just to develop your sound. And I feel at this point I've had some experience now. So I'm always surprised, I guess, but I don't go in with any preconceived notions or just like, I don't know. I just go in and try to do it. So, yeah.
You don't think hard about it?
I think
you care.
I care deeply, but I don't go in with expectations of,
Okay. Grandeur.
you know, you have to be amazing. This has to be the best thing ever. It's more, how can we make it different than last time? How can we just make it better than last time? That's the extent of where my mindset is before. But like to put it into context for you in your question, you know, how long my first record, I only had 7 songs to my name, really. So I recorded 7 songs with a couple interludes in there to make it 10 tracks, and then had some experience. Headway, I wrote 20 songs, and we recorded 12 of them. And then for this one, we had an abundance of time. We had an abundance of home time, which was great, and got 30 songs down. And when you have more songs, it really just makes the ones that are the stronger ones super clear. There's no question. And I'm grateful for the time. I think it was my most creative burst of time I think I've ever had. And I could probably say that for a lot of other people as well.
Did any of the runts of the litter, the ones that didn't get into the first 2, or the second one actually, Headway, did they show up? Did they want to be reconsidered for this one?
Every song that doesn't make it is always reconsidered for the next. So I believe there was only 1 or 2 that were that didn't make it for the Headway process, that got brought into the Reasons Why batch of songs, and one of them made it. It's a song. It didn't make it onto Reasons Why. It made it onto the Downtown EP, which came up last year. So what happened was, I had 30 songs. I really liked 15 of them. 10 of them felt like a record, fully, and then 5 of them I really liked as well, but I just didn't see them with these songs. But I still wanted to put them out, so last summer we put out the Downtown EP, just 5 songs, and that was 5 songs from this batch. And one of them was a song called Say It Again, which was originally written in the Headway phase for songs.
Right.
But that's the only one I think that made it. And there's 15 other songs that didn't make it onto this record that are always still in consideration for other projects.
Let me see if I can spit this up before I forget it. The years that you spent as a sideman. Let's touch briefly on the learning curve. You saw what you wanted to do. You certainly heard and saw what you didn't want to do. So as a bit of a learning curve, you could, if you looked at the good stuff you were surrounded by, that would help inform maybe your direction or what you want to do or what you didn't want to do. And secondly, the 5 songs, I mean, when you get it down to the ones, are they the ones that say you cannot not use this? They just absolutely determine, no, they'll wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning saying, I've got to be in this mix.
I think so. They have that effect. They at least for me, they're basically saying that, or it's my mind telling me that I feel most inspired and motivated to see them through more than the others. I like all the songs.
Sure.
And it's more of which ones stand the test of time in that time phase the best.
Was there a time whether you wondered if you could write songs, or did you always know they were going to come to you? Sometimes it's very painful trying to write those first couple of songs. Did they come easily?
No. I mean, my first introduction to writing songs was in a high school band.
All right. Okay.
Me and my friends had some bands, and we wrote some songs together. But that was me more so, my part in that was like, here's a cool guitar thing, or I wasn't really writing lyrics or anything then. My first interaction with just writing songs by myself was probably when I was 18 or so, and I was just telling somebody else this. I remember working a telemarketing job right out of high school. I was playing gigs in music, but during the day I took this job selling CDs and furniture and pantyhose on the phone. Seriously. And in my cubicle, in between all these calls, I just had nothing but time. And I just, I was at an age where I started thinking about life more and thinking about experience more. And I just started writing down ideas and writing down lyrics without even putting music behind it yet. It was like the first time I was putting pen to paper in that way, and none of them were good. I wouldn't consider any of them. But like you gotta throw some what's the saying? Shit at the wall and see what sticks, right? And you got to start somewhere. And that was my introduction. I had a band when I was about 19, a trio.
What was the name?
And Groovy Mustache. Yeah, no joke. But that was my first band where I booked us gigs. And it was mostly covers. We played 3 sets a night everywhere I'd play. We'd play 4 times a week. But I started writing some material, and we had some songs. We recorded them, and I was like, this is fun. I really enjoy this. And again, I don't think those were very good either, but it was my intro to that, and I knew I always had that bug and that I love that creative love for it. And I've written plenty with other people for their own projects. I had this other group called the New Lightweights with my friend Alexa Dirks, who goes by the name Begonia, and we've have this long catalog of songs that we've written together, and I've always loved writing. And then fast forward to year and a half before I did my first record was when I started writing again for me. So it was like a weird experience to just get back into, once you get that mindset of you're thinking of writing as this task that you do to help other people get their songs done. Once you have to start doing it for yourself, there's a little bit of like a reconditioning or like a reclimatizing where it's like, oh yeah,
Right.
If these are my songs, these are songs I'm going to have to be singing potentially always. So I have to like come at it from a different spot. I have to really believe in these songs. They need to be authentic.
It's rare, Ariel, that I actually write down a question, but I wanted to get this right here. Your audience, your fans, the people who want to follow you, many first discovered you via the guitar demos and things you were doing, the feature jams you were doing in Europe initially. You can correct when we finish here.
Yeah.
But, and your time with Brothers Landreth, that's where I first heard you. What was the plan to break into a full-fledged singer-songwriter? What told you, said, now's the time, let's just do this? And did that audience that wanted you as a guitar virtuoso, were they a tougher sell or an easy sell with the albums that came out?
Okay, 2-part question. So it was actually a matter of necessity because at the time, this was about 2017, I was living in Ireland with my wife who was going to school there. So we relocated there for a couple of years, and you know me, I'm just a portable musician. I can basically be anywhere, but you're going to go a distance like that to Ireland. Even though I was traveling back and forth and still doing tours and stuff back in Canada and the US, there was all this time where I kind of had to make ends meet in town and work and get some gigs. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm not just going to jump into a new scene and expect every single artist to hire me to play guitar for them. How did I get my start when I first wanted to become a professional musician? Well, I had a band called Groovy Mustache, and I booked my own band as a trio, Now, I wasn't looking to reform that band, but I decided to start booking shows again. And at this point, like you were saying, through the internet and a lot of guitar-related things, I had built a bit of a name at that point. So it definitely helped that I could just go into having a trio and just having it under my own name. So that got the fire started, and I realized, hey, I really actually enjoy this. I forgot how much I love this. It wasn't ever like being in the spotlight or being a front guy. It was more the satisfaction of getting to be myself musically, like as genuinely and as authentically as possible. It was just very satisfying. And it just kind of kept growing. I was inspired. I got a tour. The tour went great. And I said, okay, well, seems to be like the right. So I demoed some songs. I kept writing. Another tour came up. And at this point, it was like, okay, I need to record an album. And then I had an album, and then more dates started coming. And then it just slowly just took over. It was, it kind of was this natural progression. The second part of your question was if all the guitar fans were a hard sell for the original music. It was the opposite. They've been the most supportive.
That's
the fact that they jumped on, they know me as a guitar player. They, with open arms, embraced the songs, because it's still, guitar is the tool I use to express myself other than singing and lyrics. There's still very much in it. And you know what? If I have someone that comes to a show in Rotterdam or Mill Valley, doesn't matter where it is, and they come up to me and they say, hey, you know what? I'm here because you demoed those whatever guitars on this video, and I watch those videos all the time. And all I say is, thank you. Thanks for being here. I don't care where, the fact that you're here means you're listening to the music. You guys are grabbing the record. How you got here isn't important. I appreciate it. So, yes, I'm very grateful that they've taken the music with open arms, taken to the music.
I have thoroughly enjoyed this story, watching it unfold. I had a set of, I took my seat. I was on front row aisle, on the right side, lots of leg room, and I watched this story unfold of yours. I just said to myself, you're going to enjoy it. Watch this unfold. Just see how it happens. I am rejoicing for you. I am happy for you. And it surprised me because I had no idea that people would like your music as much as I did. I went, I'm not alone in this. They like what he's doing. Look at that. There's moments of tears. There's happiness. There's joy. There's groove. Look at they all love
Thank
it.
you.
I can't
Thank
believe.
you.
I seriously misjudged the audiences out there. They know exactly what they want, and you're it. Now, a couple of things. I'm looking at your tour here, and I'm looking for Canadian dates. They're coming, I'm sure.
Yep.
You got a month? Got a year?
Well, I leave tomorrow. Well, sorry. This is the tour started August.
August 31st.
It actually starts earlier. We did a festival in Denmark on the 26th, 27th, and then 28th we started in Germany. So the first leg was Europe, and then we're doing the Clapton Crossroads Festival in September, and then we're doing Western Canada, except Vancouver, which we're doing in October.
That's right.
So yeah, Edmonton, Calgary, Saskatoon, Winnipeg. We'll do Vancouver in October, Toronto, Montreal, Hamilton in November. And then there'll be more in the new year for Canada, but the rest is U.S.
And you're taking Tara Lightfoot with you.
Tara is doing the 4 Western Canada dates and all of the West Coast U.S. dates. So she's coming.
Fantastic.
Texas and California. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Fantastic. Let's do an extended Deadhead jam at the end.
Yeah, good idea.
Now, what are your thoughts on the Clapton Crossroads Festival?
Well,
it's not just another gig.
It's not just another gig. It's an extreme honor. I grew up watching those Crossroad festivals on DVD and buying them. So to be invited, it's a funny story because I think anyone else of my pals that are also going that you may have talked to will have a similar story. But I woke up to this email from someone claiming to be Eric Clapton, and hey, we want to see if Ariel can play the festival. It's going to be next year at Madison Square Garden originally. It's at Crypto Arena now in LA. But so immediately I thought spam, but maybe I'll have my agent look into it anyways. And so I sent it to her. I said, I think this is bullshit, but do you want to just take a look at the... So days go by, and she eventually speaks to his manager and basically confirms that it's real, in which I respond to him and say, just like a very cordial, hey, what an honor, thank you so much. I can't, like, what an opportunity. I'm honored that you invited me. And he wrote back, oh yeah, saw your stuff, and I couldn't not invite. So I was like, what the heck? Still thought it was bullshit for about 8 months, up until beginning of this year, really, when we got the contract. I guess we signed a contract, and I was like, okay, I guess this is for real now. But
Yeah.
honestly, for about 7-8 months, I didn't tell anybody. I told a couple very close people in my circle that it was happening, but I still gave like this precursor of, like, it might be bullshit, but I purposely didn't tell anyone else until it was absolutely certain that it was happening. So it was funny, and it's a great honor.
Do you get to play with your guys?
My band, yes.
Okay. And then later, you have to be prepared to walk out for a double jam somewhere, or somebody asks you to out on stage?
Who knows? I'm trying not to go in with expectations or planning anything in advance. You don't want to come out too hot, but yeah, if there's an invite.
I would suggest, because they were good friends and then they're in LA, that there will be some Robbie Robertson tunes, maybe The Wait or Cripple Creek or something like that, because they were great friends. And of course, San Francisco was where Last Waltz happened. Well, congratulations on, first of all, how that they found you, that they heard you, that they liked you. Of all of the people that they could possibly invite, they invited you.
Yeah. We just got to go out there and do what we do, not try to change it in any way. I'm just looking forward to just being me, being us, and having fun. It's gonna be overwhelming. It's gonna be an experience.
It is kind of freaky, considering that I first met you at the Edmonton Folk Music Festival as part of Brothers Landreth, that they're also invited. It's like it's
amazing.
It's astonishing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's really cool. Very cool. Now, the album. If I don't talk about the album, I'll fire myself. Tracks. Man You Raised. Gotta love the groove there. Nice. I understand why you would want to release it as a single.
Thank you. Yeah, it felt right as good, a nice kickoff. Positive, fun, happy-ish sounding. Sing-along-ish. Yeah, felt right as a kickoff. That's a fun one.
Did you live this song?
I personally didn't. This is one of the very few songs that are not from my own personal experience. The song Man You Raise is basically, a person with parents or an upbringing that wasn't fully supportive of their vision of what they wanted to do in life, and just saying, hey, no matter what I do, things happen. I know I may not be exactly how you wanted me to be, but at the end of the day, I'm still yours. You have a part in this, and we just have to accept that. And I have a few friends that have that exact experience, which was most definitely a direct inspiration for it. I was very fortunate. My upbringing was fully supportive. But just because it wasn't my own experience, I get very inspired by just even landing on a topic that feels relatable,
Ariel, wish we never met. Which, when I saw the title, I thought, oh man, okay, where's he going?
How rude.
Yeah. But it's funky as hell. Love that.
Yeah, that's a fun one too. That's another one. It's funny because the first two songs, that song is basically from the, when a relationship ends, you break up, and it's the person, it's from the perspective of the person who's in the wrong, essentially. And rather than taking accountability and being open to the fact that, I have maybe was the one that made a mistake here, it's just kind of blame shifting the entire song. And it's just like the easy way out of saying, well, I wish we never met. It was just my life would be easier, even though it was my fault.
There's not sadness there. It's funky. It's really good. It's like,
yeah.
By the way, I loved your hang with, is it Corey Wong? Is that who I'm thinking of?
Maybe.
There's a
Which
guy.
hang?
No. What's it? What's the groovy, the very funky James Brown single you guys did? You
Oh
and
yeah, that was Corey.
oh, wait,
Yeah,
that
he's great. I mean, he actually is a co-writer on Man You Raised.
excellent.
Yeah,
Nice.
and he just put out a record last Friday, and I wrote a song with him on it for him and sang it. Yeah, we collaborate a lot. He's a great pal, great musical pal.
I'm going to move along here. Didn't say. Didn't say. Tell me what didn't say.
Didn't Say was actually the very first song out of the 30 that was written. Kind of kickstarted the whole thing. Yeah, typical. Not typical, but it's a song about great sell. Typical. So many relationships get fractured or damaged because of actions or things that are said, and it's often the things that were left unsaid or weren't spoken of that could have salvaged a relationship.
Okay.
And it's talking about that.
I feel this way too.
Yes. This one might be one of my favorite songs on the record. Basically, the story behind this song. So I moved to Ireland, like I said, and when I moved there, I had like this blank slate. I come from Winnipeg, where every fourth person there, which is awesome and a lovely thing. But moving to a brand new country where basically no one knows you, at least for the first few days, it was like that because I met everybody.
By the way, what part of that country were you in? Cork? Were you in Dublin?
It was Cork, yeah.
Cork, wonderful.
Absolutely beautiful. I'm finally going back in a couple of months for a visit. Long overdue. Can't wait. But when I moved there, I just loved this kind of invisibility where you have this freedom. You don't.
Yes.
So I wrote a song about that on Headway called "I'm Gone," and then we lived there a bit, came back to Winnipeg, moved to Montreal, and we moved in COVID times. So the feeling of the moving and starting over again in a place when you're used to having real deep community, the feeling kind of felt a little more isolating this time and not quite as exciting in terms of that, it's a blank canvas, I'm invisible to like that kind of feeling went away. So this song, Feel This Way Too, is kind of talking about that.
By the way, did you get down to Clonakilty?
Of course. Yeah.
Did you
It's
play?
the greatest.
Did you play DeBarra's?
I didn't play there, but I've been.
Oh man,
It's a special spot.
did you see whose bass was on the wall?
Oh, it's
Yep, trio.
I'm having a complete blank.
Noel Redding.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of that.
That's the place in Clonakilty. Like there isn't really another spot.
That's it.
It's a legendary spot. All of West Cork is absolutely gorgeous.
Now I'm going to ask you about 4 tracks.
Okay.
Time Can Only Tell.
Yeah.
I just love the song. Is there? It's dangerous to say. What can you tell me about it? But what comes to mind when I give you that title? Time Can Only Tell.
Well, the song is really just reflecting on life and how we change as people over time and how things change and how people change. And
So
it's this idea of being able to speak to time itself and saying, why do we change over time? Why does this happen? Why does this happen? And it's this unanswered question of asking, if time was a person, it's asking them these things and they're basically not telling us the answer.
I do want to spend just a bit of time, not much, but enough on Broken, but I'm fine, because there's some reflection in here. Can you share it?
Yeah. I think whether we all are diagnosed or not, I'm not, but like I can tell, I've definitely had moments in my life of getting really stressed out and, dealing with anxiety for certain things.
Depression?
And no, I mean, I think it's safe to say we've all we all get down sometimes.
Sure.
But this definitely relates to anything like that. Absolutely. I was writing it coming from a point of anxiety. And it's that idea. I thought the title "Broken But I'm Fine" sounds kind of tongue in cheek, and it's something that you'd say in passing in society right now. You know, we always when we're not doing okay, we always, it's like, oh yeah, I lost my luggage, but whatever, it's all good. That's like how we always speak. So it's like saying, yeah, I'm struggling a lot actually, but it's fine. I'm broken, but I'm fine. So the title is playing on how we don't really tell people how we really feel, I guess, when we're struggling. We just play it off like it's okay.
Actually, what it teaches us is to listen a little harder. When a line like that comes up in a conversation, remember the word broken, because it's spoken, it means something. I've taught myself over the years to listen for those words. How about choose? Was it just a riff? Was it just a riff, or was there weight to it?
There is weight to it. It's a relationship song. I had the initial, the first few lyrics of the song was the first thing I had. It was, what is it? Yeah, it's hard to let them in even after you forgive them. Just because you've shown your face doesn't mean they have to see it. And I thought that was interesting with the idea of, you break up and time passes and you want to salvage a relationship, but sometimes a relationship, when you've not intimately, but like you've been with someone, it's hard to recover and hard to just like put everything aside and be back to how you were. So it's like that, just because you've shown their face doesn't mean they have to see it fully, like is kind of what that line means. And overall the song, it's this big picture of how is everyone else gonna react. What, if we don't get back together, am I gonna lose the friends we made as a couple? If we do get together, do you ever see that Curb Your Enthusiasm? Do you ever watch that show?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so you ever see the season or the episode where Larry and Cheryl are breaking up, and he's got Jeff and his wife Susie, and then they've got all these sub characters, and they're all like, we chose Cheryl, or some of them are like, they all choose Cheryl in the end. But in some ways, it's kind of like that asking that idea, like, which our people, our community that we've made together as this unit, as a couple, will I lose all that? Will I still maintain that?
I have to make a choice. Yes.
Yeah.
Choose. I listen. The last tracks on albums always attract. I always listen first. I don't know what it is. It just. It's like reading the last page of a detective novel. It's not right. But I like the position that track gets. This is the last track. This is going to be the last track. This is the last thing I'm going to say. There's something to that. Always moving on. Does it imply that it's you? Is it imply it's life? Is it imply music? What is it?
Yeah, me and life. It's kind of a continuation off of the Feel This Way Too topic of, life as a musician, especially one that moves around and has lived in different places like myself. It causes a lot of self-reflection and a lot of isolation and a lot of time to think about the things you miss, the people you miss, because you're not around for it always. And it's basically asking the question, like, how do I keep going, and what do I do to keep this life going, essentially? And I like the sentiment of always moving on. We should always be moving on.
Nice. Ariel Posen, 2 or 3 nights after playing the Clapton Crossroads Festival in Los Angeles, he's at the Commonwealth Bar and Stage in Calgary on the 26th of September, the Wednesday, the Starlight Room in Edmonton, the 27th, Broadway Theater in Saskatoon, the Park Theater in Winnipeg, and believe it or not, he goes to Montreal for one night and keeps going.
Yes.
It's crazy, and he's bringing with him Tara Lightfoot. It's fantastic, and then who knows we don't know yet what 2024 brings. However, I just want to congratulate you on this album and your career
Thank you.
so far. I know you haven't, you're just getting started, just baby steps, but my goodness, what a great start.
Thank you so much. And you've always been an ally and a supporter. I appreciate you. Thank you.
As I said, I love the story. Carry on. Have a great run.
Thank you, my friend.
We'll be here applauding.
Hope to see you soon.